Coco Gauff is entering a completely new chapter. And this time, she's stepping away from the tennis court and behind the camera. The American superstar is taking on an executive producer role for two brand new tennis documentary shorts. And the subjects are incredibly interesting. One project explores the fascinating connection between tennis and fashion, while the other shines a spotlight on American tennis trailblazer Zina Garrison. But why did Coco choose these stories? And could this be the beginning of a much bigger career outside professional tennis? Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know. Coco Gauff has already achieved something that very few young tennis players manage to accomplish. She has become a Grand Slam champion, one of the biggest names in women's tennis, and one of the most recognizable American athletes of her generation. Fans know her for her powerful forehand, incredible athleticism, defensive skills, and ability to compete under pressure. But now, Coco is showing fans a completely different side of herself. Instead of preparing for another match, another tournament, or another Grand Slam battle, Gauff is helping tell stories about tennis from behind the scenes. And this time, she's not simply appearing in front of the camera. She's stepping into the role of executive producer. That's a major development because it gives Coco the opportunity to help shape how important tennis stories are presented to a new generation of fans. And the two stories she has chosen are particularly interesting. Clapperboard Coco Gauff's new role. According to the announcement, Coco Gauff is involved with two original documentary shorts connected to the Tennis Story series. The projects are being developed with Tennis Channel and Religion of Sports. And what's fascinating is that these documentaries aren't simply about today's biggest tennis stars. Instead, they look at the culture and history surrounding the sport. That makes Coco's involvement even more meaningful. Because Coco isn't just participating in tennis history. She's now helping tell it. Think about that for a moment. A player who grew up watching and learning from previous generations of tennis stars is now helping introduce those stories to younger fans. It's a full circle moment. Dress Documentary 1. The Story of Tennis and Fashion. The first documentary explores the relationship between tennis and fashion. At first, some fans might wonder, why make a documentary about tennis clothing? But when you look at the history of the sport, the connection becomes much more obvious. Tennis fashion has changed dramatically over the decades. The clothing players wear on court has always reflected the era they compete in. Traditional tennis outfits once emphasized formality and classic sporting style. But over time, players began using fashion as another way to express personality and individuality. Today, tennis fashion has become a major part of the sport's identity. Fans don't just watch what happens during a match. They also pay attention to what players wear when they walk onto the court. And Coco Gauff herself belongs to a generation that has helped make athlete style more visible than ever. Running shoe: Why fashion matters in tennis. Think about the biggest tennis tournaments around the world. The Grand Slams aren't just sporting events. They're also major cultural events. Players arrive with carefully designed outfits. Brands create special collections. Fans discuss the looks online. And certain outfits can become instantly recognizable. So the relationship between tennis and fashion tells a much bigger story. It's a story about sport. It's a story about culture. And it's also a story about how athletes have gained more freedom to express themselves. That's why this documentary could appeal to people who aren't even hardcore tennis fans. Someone might discover the documentary because they love fashion, and then become interested in tennis history. That crossover is exactly what makes the project so intriguing. White medium star Coco Gauff's connection to the story. And there's another reason Coco is such an interesting person to have involved. Coco Gauff is part of a younger generation of athletes who understand the importance of identity and presentation. She has grown up in an era where tennis players have enormous global platforms. Every match can generate millions of social media reactions. Every major tournament can create new trends. And every player has the opportunity to build a personal brand. So Coco's perspective can help connect the history of tennis fashion with the modern game. The documentary can show where tennis fashion came from, and how it eventually became such an important part of the modern tennis experience. Final build-up. So, when you put everything together, this isn't simply a story about Coco Gauff making documentaries. It's a story about a tennis superstar expanding her influence. It's about a young champion looking beyond the next match. It's about preserving tennis history. It's about celebrating the people who helped shape the sport. And it's about showing fans that Coco Gauff has ambitions that extend far beyond the tennis court. The big question now is, what comes next? Could this be the start of a long-term career in sports storytelling? Could Coco eventually produce bigger projects? Could we see her create documentaries about her own journey one day? Only time will tell. But one thing is already clear. Coco Gauff is showing that her future in tennis may be about much more than simply winning matches. And there you have it. Coco Gauff is officially stepping into a new role, and she's doing it by helping tell two fascinating stories from the world of tennis. One documentary explores the evolution of tennis and fashion. The other shines a spotlight on the remarkable legacy of Zina Garrison. And for Coco, this could be the beginning of an exciting new chapter beyond the baseline. Now I want to hear from you. Would you watch a full-length Coco Gauff documentary about her own life and tennis journey? And which of these two projects are you more interested in? The tennis fashion story or the Zina Garrison story? Drop your opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed this update, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Coco Gauff and WTA news. More tennis stories, more breaking updates, and more big developments are coming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.